We're on a space mission from Jesus. The following may be the only expansion possible for you, my creative destructors. Welcome to Open Source Human 1.5, the original Open Source Human. We asked the question, where, when, what, how, and who should we pay for an economy that works? And I have a separate book now. It's separate material. I've talked about on this live stream. And wasn't expecting to be able to answer that question from the original Open Source Human. I'm at about 80-90%. I've got that, and that to connect, but as it is right now, with the right leadership, it would get done. It would get done. And the yuccular war that was to end every show.
Not yet.
Was who would lead? Who would do the executive? The president. In a world that is a schizophrenic confederacy without a poison pill. Business 101, people. If you want to summon white knights, you have to liquidate assets as fast as possible. It's called, basically, ending the business totally, completely, painlessly, and, completely. That's my losses of functionality have geared me to the point of saying before, this show got really quite segmented out in a more directorial fashion with production and things. But that's the yuccular war. And now we were talking about potty mentality. I'm funny. I'm on Twitter and Facebook, and I'm trying to get the live stream going on here. Trying to expand the horizons of an event that will not be a singularity, will not be a wormhole. That no sentient individual, even the Sinians who believe that myth should be perpetuated, none of that's going to happen. We're not taking off into an apocalypse. There's going to be a rapture that I know of. Fair enough, if anybody wants to fool that scenario, I know my God pretty well. It's been more than 4 years since my epiphany. It's going to be way more than 4, hopefully before phase up of what I want to do. So again, I'm kind of funny on there, Facebook and Twitter, and I'm looking for help. I'm looking to solicit contractability and things, but it really comes down to some executive sort of needs in the state of an Oregon era. Maybe to do more. And I don't call it polishing brass. If I'm still here, if I've been on this program before telling you that you don't do well enough in this world if you don't know you're crazy. And I've been the hurt man. I've been petitioning and complaining and being plaintiff on a number of issues. Even had some defendant issues myself, but I won like 4 of those out of all of this falling down the bow and making mathematical notes on each limb strike, and a whole lot of business, So the point is, in a schizophrenic confederacy, we have borders, we have disagreements, we have different money, we have different languages. The math is just simple. It is a schizophrenic confederacy, and if you don't know you're crazy, you're the problem. And it's fine. It's fine. Trust me. I've been in mental institutions. I've been in acute care facilities. I've been in things they can't even legally do. With people who really enjoy walking around with a heart on their sleeve instead of balanced somewhere else. So it is an Oregon era. The yuccular war items to anchor an event. It was sort of we're trying to get the peephole there and get the the perimeter set up in my hometown for hometown generators everywhere, and let people know that transparency is real. That we are the problem. That if you don't, you're crazy, and you're raising kids to believe they're crazy. No innocence for anyone. Now, I've been privileged. I've been lucky. I know that. Um, but I'm trying to. You can't help but Fine, fine, fine. Here's a gem. If you're not laughing, you're not paying attention. You know, uh, there is knowing more than knowing. And that's just a mathematical fact. I mean, we're not all just here. Um, and I mean, if you have whatever beliefs you want on the subject, but there's some balance to things that keeps us progressing, or at least even artificially makes you feel high on the idea of growth in these borders. Which is fine, but it's not just saying, I'm right. I know I'm the boss. It just, for me anyway, that's not going to work. I can't lead. That's a clear variable. But I'm not saying I know more than I know. I don't think you can say that with that phrase. It's life with all myth and all structure of human society. I think needs to come to a new sort of rule on consciousness, and that's just something knows us better than we know ourselves. If that's just each other, if that's just all the life on the planet, it's knowing more than knowing. But you're not going to make internal um, progress otherwise. Oh, look at that. We get a buttress today. Here's the time. I typically will, at the Fab Law Hour, which is a 9-minute segment between 7:34 and 7:43 a.m., 7:34, 7:43 p.m. If you notice that you add those suffix mathematical integers there, it makes a 7. Either way, throughout that set, the first integer is, of course, the time hour, and that's a 7. And together you have 77. We may be. So here's the thing. I opened my phone. This wasn't always working. Losses of functionality. You can find these sort of references on the Facebook and the YouTube. And oh yeah, and the Twitter today. Also the Apple, and yeah. So the fun of it is you get to take a picture and send it to your immediate family. Start with your immediate family. The whole thing. Because I don't care how big your family is, you probably have the pattern buffer to run a small image through to each of them. You do it at the beginning of the day, you do it at the end of the day. You don't have to worry about all this knowledge out there that tells you to be prepared and wise and check and and balance and check and check and check and check and check until you have no balance. I get it. So gonna go with the immediate family today because I have more things to get to on the show. We'll just say cheese. And this is a horrible picture. I love it. That's probably one of the best ones. Thank you. Yeah. So the other thing about the show is a potty mentality. So we secure the event with this yucky little item peephole. We have this sound shot heard round the world. Return to a pre-World War, pre-war to end all wars mentality. Structure of perimeters. It's no joke. My hometown, you can research all these cases. You know my story. But basically, just that dry thump hump somehow happening Anchoring, that's risk management. That's risk management. If you think that I don't have the cards, that I'm not excited about my work, that I'm not hurting to prevent the leakage of my work, which you talked about on the show before, papers missing, and one component that seems to be the root of all conspiracies that I've faced in my life, having been used against me in multiple kind of time dilative or compressive and very specific stuff. Uh, so I need that risk management. I need to say, not trust me, but just know more than you know. Go back and just everything that I've done. I can answer for any of it. And that's what I wanted to get to again on the show. So we have risk management. We have the notion of, if you want to be conservative, if you want to budget, if you want to get down to fun at work and play, however you think that may be, you, you just, you got to turn into the skid, people. All right. So, Yucky War item number two. We talked about this on yesterday, the day before. Some of this has been going forward. These were supposed to be segments on 2.0, which are human 2.0. Now, again, open source human, the original, we asked the question: where, when, what, how, and who should we pay for an economy that works? I'm saying again, I'm not that, because I have this. Mathematically, you cannot trust me. I know that. And I don't, there's no breaking that. And I don't want you to even attempt to. Anybody who tries to would be mathematically incorrect. All right, so let that sink in for a second, okay? Mathematically incorrect. If you try to say I should lead, that is mathematically incorrect. I'm waiting for a long time from now with my phase expansions of that work, where, when, what, how, and who should we pay for an economy that works? Separate books, separate materials. Still got some copies left. I put lots of them out there, and digital mostly stuff. But there were paper copies too, and it just got decentralized. Go research. Don't just be anal lispers or whatever you want to call an analyst. I'm retarded too. And if you don't know you're retarded, you're probably not. Is your thing. Because if you do know you're retarded, you definitely aren't. So it's just there's an innocence factor there, isn't there? There's an innocence factor, right? I mean, you can make fun of things as long as you understand that we all come from some privilege, some knowledge that knows us better than we know ourselves. There's some relative peace and stability out there, even if we have all the broken systems and a very specific thing. So getting back, here go to item number two. It who is without sin. May it plug up the first potty. And again, you don't know you potty, you're the problem. All right, so I had this book, this notion that I could get people to call into the show. It hasn't happened. And let me get this little stabilizer back on here. This is my little bookkeeping skills. As of Monday, people, I moved to take care of disabled people, like I have in my own label, and who get mistreated by their the rumor and speculation and such in society. People who very specifically are good. So if you could help, you could call in at 1-503-245-5334. I said I would try and get some kind of hold up sign. This is kind of the best I got, that number. But that, again, serial number doesn't match the device on the original equipment manufacturer. It's just what they got us at this annex mental institution I'm living at today. you know, I just won't embarrass anybody any further. And I may. If I have nothing more to expand on safely, we may have to start getting into some of this casework I've been doing. Um, so those are the Yakio War items that I've leaked so far. The two kind of risk management variables, and I'm not going to call anything else anything else. You make your own decisions. Um, but it it should happen. It should happen. I said on the show also that we had an iMessages account. Um, I found out today with the loss of functionality that somebody had disengaged that in the graphic user interface. And along with two other programs. And there was a lot of errors today, but I got through. I got through, not fully. I got a whole list of people, and I'm not saying I like everybody on that list. I just had been influenced. So I'm trying to build those lists out. I'm trying to get contract and not talk at a potty event. Just be seen and not heard, and not even be able to see. Ideally, all right. That was a thought that came to me today. Maybe I didn't be clear, but I've been pretty clear. I have very specific ideas. Um, I just have nobody to riff with, you know? Yeah. So, executification, presidents, popularity, queens and kings, and, the thoroughly good and bad. And nobody calling on the phone. This I'll just get naked. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's no. I mean, children aren't born that way. Awesome. uh, all right. No, no fun, no fun. All potty, all potty. Let's see. Where are my notes? I had to write them down. I sort of lost functionality today for the first time. I was like, okay, I need to get to a few things. So idea number one, expansive. Check out these other shows. Open Source Human, the series. I may have done 1.5.3 today, twice repeated. Hopefully it doesn't cause any problems. I'll try to fix that. Go to the 4 is tomorrow. I'm not sure. We just barely made it in time with all the funny business today. But that was one of the thoughts. I don't have to see anything. In fact, just want to talk about that's pretty inferable, isn't it? A green zone. I mean, you don't have windows. I mean, you're not like, all right, people. I'm gonna disarm Afghanistan from here. It's just there's no windows in a green zone. I mean, maybe there shouldn't be. I mean, it should just be, and I'm just as naked. And trust me, I got the rules to do a little risk management myself. Don't worry about that. I don't care. I'm not gonna see anything. I would like to see the pictures later, though. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Drawings. Let's be safe. Paintings, whatever. I like these things have never been thought of before or something, you know. Um, yeah, that could be. Um, all right, so let me get to a few more items of this expansive business of potty environment and getting calls on the phone to get money in my book for any classification whatsoever. It's I can catch up with regulations later. There's no rule against essentially forming a sect of religion, if you want to call it that. And that's all on my list here was the expansion of in spiritual questionomics. We talked about in spiritual questionomics on the show maybe a couple times now, 3 times. Um, See, I'm not perfect, uh, which is probably refreshing. I know whatever. What do I know? Anyway, I get to the spiritual questionomics. Inspiration is to breathe. It was like Greek, or I had to guess Greek, but it could be Hebrew, something of that flavor. To breathe. Ritual, bad connotation today, bad meaning, bad meaning. But if you want to breathe, you kind of want to make a ritual out of it, don't you? I mean, people invading your business, you want to be like, ha, you know, nothing in my fingers, but that's yuccular war, right? You want to be inspiritual about it. You want to be questioning the economics of the day in spiritual questionomics. And maybe that was intended to be sort of a sect of Christianity that I wanted to start with just this as the expansion today. It all remains on stage within a venue. This is venue. I mean, I just select audience. I can have freedom of speech and volition with my own good time. I mean, nobody calls. You know, but I know I'm going to enjoy this. I know that I'm doing the right things. Um, and so in spiritual questionomics, it's just basically you're on the stage, you're God while there isn't one. How hard is that? I mean, religious leaders and tyrants and good people who've led countries and subdivisions of government have all basically been the symbols of that very instance of God while there isn't one. So my sect just says, while you're on stage, while you're being asked a question of yes or no, merely yes or no, we don't get hypnotic or give people the chance to platitudize, just platitudes for the look up platitudes, um, to cover up play, which we have for but anyhow, I'm gonna have fun looking back on this, and I think in spiritual questionomics is a sect of Christianity that should rise, and I think we should just be happy to be on stage anywhere, anytime, and be being asked yes or no questions about our values, and not having to explain things so religiously directive. You know, um, and just if you know something, you don't have to tell anybody, but people will eventually, over a number of questions, get the idea. You know, um, that's the idea of the sect of in spiritual questionomics. It's a Christian sect. Sorry, pardon my je suis Christ. You know, um, who knows the angle? So we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue, and that was one of the things I'd expand on. The spiritual questionomics stays on the stage, stays within the venue. You ask me a yes no question. I'm not going to turn into God, the devil, or anything. It's just a matter of saying all borders, all subdivisions, all thoroughly good people have been the symbols of some relation to a knowledge. Does it connect? All right, all right. Okay, here's what I had to do today. Hmm. Yeah, this one's really important. I'm going to save these other two for tomorrow. And just try to get some spiritual questionomics going on. You asked me some yes or no questions about my separate book, Where, When, What, How, and Who Should We Pay for an Economy That Works. I call it Bank Statism, Perspective, Treaty Components. It's not done yet, but again, I have uh, and that to pin down to a number of variables that are kind of lost in the dark right now because I've been hurt so bad. I know people have, you know, been giving me loss of functionality. Go figure. You know, we've talked about some suspects on the show. If you go back and it's not edited like so much of this has been unfortunately infiltrated and edited. I will expand on one very important thing. The artists or musicians that these, um, uh, you know, um, classic country pebble lift rock people might summon, they they have to remember one thing about music and art, and this is when you were a child, you wanted to be someone. That's that's childish, you know. Just remember, you wanted to be big. That's all you need to know. Come back, or if it doesn't, you'll just have fun squatting, you know, in a hometown generator generation of some variety. So I going on back, other shows, other things. Um, dang, it really should happen. It really should happen. You know, catching up. If I have to get into this bookkeeping skill before Monday or after, I don't know. I'll just make another book. This is just it's got pages in it, they're blank, and I'll make my own bookkeeping stuff. I've got ideas, and you know, I will catch up. There's no bookkeeping regulations. You don't know that as artists and such. There's there's no laws on how to keep books. And I wonder why. Why would that be? Eh, maybe it's just this Pacific region. I don't know. I wouldn't research it right. So I would catch up to those variables. If I got a penny today, I could put it towards a protective force for those perimeters to make the executive happen. To do a 401 point Georges winter on this Oregon era. All the information it is right on my dash. It's other places too. The idea is I can keep a book. We could if you move into the trap, I think it'll respect you and let you out. You know, I I've talked about specific reasons of more how that is on the previous open source human shows. Open source human 1.5 is the channel. There should be like 10 or 15 or something uploads at this point. Not all of them live streamed because I had lost the functionality. It seems to be working now, and I'm happy for that. Um, there's always another way. There's always another way. And just remember, people, you know, I have very specific knowledge on why these family lineages um, don't want to be bigger. But what we can save that. I got to keep some things for myself, some things for bonding. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I could give up and just join a band. Yeah, we had a New Year's Eve. No Red Shoe Diaries. No, just PHAT rolling down the street. Anyhow, let's get to one more, maybe. Let me read this here. Okay, this one has to come out today. With all the loss of functionality, you have to understand that, again, we're all in the same fear of an apocalypse. They're all myth. Let me reiterate, separate book. Yes, I'm not saying it's a holy book. All I'm saying is you look those words up, separate and holy, they mean the same thing. Anyhow, um, calling it separate because that's more respectful for all you bookkeepers out there. Um, what I say? Yeah. So, gosh, I just want to finish it. I just want to finish my book. You know, so certain that these things are going on, that people are hurt, that this thought. If your myths, your books, were being hurt, you know, would you blame the past for going to war for you? Would you join those wars and continue them forever? Eh, Um, so a lot of this loss of functionality is trying to radicalize me. It is attempting to say that I don't know my sins and that I'll lash out in very specific ways that these bookies gamble with. Um, I can't do that. All I can do is joke. All I can do is joke, because again, like I said on the show, I'm not going to put these items into the yucky war or tarnish up my Oregon, my hometown in here, the chain around this area. Uh, know this. If they can't divide you and conquer you, they'll make you divide and conquer yourself. Hmm. Uh, you know, I don't know. There's cleverer ways. Yeah. I mean, go back to the old shows. I've been more articulate, having more fun tonight. I really kind of got happy that I boosted my network there on the social delios. I got to 77, boosted to 100, no, 200, 231, triple the 77. And I just before the show got that quadrupled with a pretty cool little familiar effect the, the bonus end, you know. Um, that's what I do it for. I do it for my home and you know, hometown generators everywhere who you will not poop on. That that doesn't wash off. Goodness. Pitters. Anyhow. That's all I'm going to do in the expansive today. So just remember, when you were young, you wanted to be big. If you were a little girl, and there, I have very, very specific knowledge as to how these psychodynamics are functioning. I just don't give a darn. It's not as important. It's not as important as where, when, what, how, and who we're going to pay for an economy that works. I mean, and again, by the math, it can't be me. Anybody who would say it should be me is wrong. More than likely trying to be wrong. Not that you can't question a yes or a no to a hurt guy. They do that in courts of law. You're not practicing law by asking someone in the street, "Hey, do you know how to say yes or no?" It could get worse. They may start taking people away for those trade language variables. Yeah. And I wouldn't help you. I couldn't. I wouldn't. I'm helping you now. So remember, everyone wanted to succeed, you know, to do something great. You know, I think bands should riot. I think that the police should hold. I think that the guard should come. I think that authority should, very specifically in perimeters, you know, make sure people can't get in unless they have money. Well, forget the commute. I'll make up for that later. You think there's not a perimeter for people of Oregon? It's just, it has yet to move in a bit to get to a potty. Um, that's not gay. We don't want you. Yeah. Oh, I've got the 5X unit, and that's all I can say. We've been past the jackpot minutia of Mike's judges tonight. We have riffed on a few things. It's always more than 10% different than a full piece of copyright or a trademark, or you have to notice that. I'm gonna terminate the transmission tonight. I hope we come back tomorrow again at the Fabric Law PM hour of Potty Pacific, and I'll give you at least one more expansion item. But I really hope you can you can enjoy a drier winter with some people. All right.